let us understand RME TotalMix as easily and quickly as possible. For this, I take my environment as an example and also for use cases. The environment, that would be a microphone, a guitar, a Mac, same works also with a PC, digital audio workstation like Logic Pro, and two outputs, the headphones and the main output, monitor, speakers. So use case 1 would just be the standard, like any software that plays sound. So that would be the Mac and the digital audio workstation. Both go to the phones and to the main output. Use case 2 is like number 1, but with mic going to the phones. So that would be direct monitoring, or also called hardware monitoring. Use case 3 is like number 1, but this time the guitar. Direct monitoring to the phones, but not the mic. And use case number 4 would be software monitoring from the digital audio workstation. This is not configured in TotalMix, but we want to look at it anyway. Now let's check out the TotalMix software and its interface. First row are the real hardware input channels, like this microphone that I'm using here. Third row, the real hardware output channels, like the headphones that we see here. Now a bit more complicated is the middle line, the middle row, software playback channels. So for any software, those are regarded as outputs, but for us, they're inputs. And we can see for every output, there's a, let's say, a brother with the same name, analog 3 and 4. So this signal is sent to the real hardware output. And if the software sends to analog 5 and 6, this goes by default settings to the hardware output with the same name. Now what it makes extremely useful and confusing at the same time is that you can cut the signal to that output below, or as well duplicate the signal, create other routes to other hardware outputs. The same is true also for the hardware inputs. So if I select different hardware outputs, I can see I have different settings here. And selecting the outputs shows us the different submix configurations, as we have configured routing mode submix here. And we will stick to this setting, which has the same abilities as the free mode, but in my opinion is a bit more easier to understand. Now, to make things easier, we want to focus on our 4 inputs here and our 2 outputs. So we can ignore all the other stuff. Now let me change the view a bit of this interface. And first thing I want to do is to switch to a different RME audio device, because I don't want to mess with the one that I used to record this video. Alright, then I, since recently, prefer the 2-row view. So I have the inputs in one row and the output channels in another one. And also I'd like for this recording to make it a bit bigger. So here we go. Also a nice feature, I have highlighted the channels that we're gonna use. So hopefully this is visible in the recording. The yellow channels are the ones from this side that we want to use. And to have the names, I click on this. We will check out later how to change those things. Now we have the microphone, the guitar, our Mac, the digital audio workstation, the main output, and the headphones. Now let's go to our 4 use cases here. I've cheated a bit and prepared them as snapshots. We'll create them from scratch later together. Okay, let's load the first one. So here's a bit of a glitch. I reload the layout and we're good to go. So use case number 1, Mac and digital audio workstation. Send both signals to both outputs. So headphones, for headphones it is raised up. And for main it's also raised up. So okay, here we should understand almost every software will always send the signal to the first 2 mono channels. Let's see the original names. And there's no way to select other ones. But there are few exceptions, like Logic Pro. So we have the luxury. So after setting the audio device, we can change the I/O assignments, and here we've set phones 3 and 4, which is this. So let us go back to our named digital audio workstation here. So we can could also have it at the standard channel, but here we have more possibilities to mix it. Okay, let's go to use case number 2. It's like the first, but microphone goes to headphone as well as direct monitoring. So, but not to the main. We select phones and we see signal is set. In main it's not, in phones it is. And still Mac and Digital Audio Workstation. So use case number 3, we use the guitar signal for direct monitoring. And here we can see the settings toggling. Use case number 4. We want to hear our guitar through software monitoring in our digital audio workstation. So to hear that, we also need use case number 1 set up. And let's check it out in Logic Pro. For the guitar, we have to pick the correct input. Input number 1 would be microphone. Number 3 is the guitar. And we have to check this input monitoring button. Now we can also hear the effects if we have some. That's the advantage of the software monitoring. Now let's set up the interface from scratch. Find a clean starting point, kind of. I cannot easily reset the names. I could do it here, but here you see how to set them. And you here see how to set the colors. Outputs. And that's it. So let's give it a name. Use case 1. So I assign the main out to 1 and 2 and the phones to headphone. So I only do this for optics. I don't use the control room stuff actually. Now I go to headphones. Okay, Mac is already set up. Digital Audio Workstation also. For main, I set up the DAW. And then I store it. Click on store and click on the slot. Fine. Now I just add the microphone stuff. Oops, but not for main. Let's do it for phones only. And that's already it. So we store this to the next slot. So let's copy number 2 again. This time for phones, set up guitar. Store it as use case 3. And that's it. Hope you like it.